Literally everything that went into this room was meant to be inspirational in terms of creating. So that was the whole impetus behind this room. It's just a space to come here, create, and have the best of the best gear available to you, and that's what we did. Hi, I'm Ryan West. We're in the Inspiration Room at Flux Studios in New York City. This is a modern approach, right? So the rest of the rooms at Flux have a mix of old vintage gear and new modern stuff. With this room, we wanted to go completely modern. So if you look around, pretty much everything is new, with some exceptions. The keyboards are old, but all the other gear is new. It's all new technology. We wanted to take a step forward. When I first started discussions with Fab Dupont about setting this room up, it was about being portable. I really wanted to be able to just take my laptop off of my system at home, which is significant. I love my rig at home, but I needed another professional space to work in. So I wanted to be able to take one Thunderbolt cable out, put my laptop in a bag, come right down here to Flux, plug in one Thunderbolt cable, and everything works, and voila.
Would you call yourself a producer, an engineer, an artist?
I would say I'm a guy who wears a lot of hats, and I enjoy wearing different hats every day. It's one thing that keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, keeps my mind in the game. You know, I grew up in northeastern Ohio, and there was kind of nothing going on there music-wise that was going to get me where I wanted to be. I mean, there's lots of great musicians and bands there, of course. I needed to be somewhere where the stuff was really kind of happening. So I wanted to be in the middle of it. So I decided in my early 20s that I was just going to strike out and come out here to New York City and make a go of it. I've been extremely fortunate. I've worked with some really great people, and not just the artists that are famous. I mean, everybody likes to hear those names. I could say Jay-Z, Eminem, Beyonce, Rihanna, T.I. over and over again. But some of the most influential people that I've worked with are producers for the most part. For instance, Just Blaze is a producer that I worked with for almost a decade. The guy's done so many records, and half of what I know I learned from him. So I'm very grateful for the experience of being able to work with producers who are actually out there making records.
You're using primarily plugins. Why? What's the advantage of a plugin?
Flexibility. You know, I'll keep saying that word over and over again, and I know it gets boring, but it's true. You know, I work with lots of different people, and I have to be as flexible as possible to be able to recall sessions, to be able to move from one thing to the next. So that's not as easy to do in hardware land. I live in my kitchen. I make food all the time. I don't have any single-use kind of things. So the same philosophy works for me with plugins. There are a few things that are really specific, like there are very few really good de-essers. The one de-esser that I found that works for me on every mix every time is the Weiss de-esser. So I use that daily. I'm also using the Grand Channel a lot. I have two favorite compressors in this world. One is the Summit TLA 100 and the other one is the TubeTech CO1B. Both of those are made by Softube, fortunately for me. So they live almost on every mix. It's what helps me tame vocals.
So do you miss the tactile feel of using hardware when using plugins?
I mean, that's an easy answer. I mean, it's nice to be able to just reach out and grab something and twist a knob and tweak it until it feels good. So that's kind of why I decided that, you know, having some control surfaces that do very specific things was important to me. So I want to be able to automate volume. I want to be able to reach out and grab for an EQ. That's the main reason why I went with the Console 1. I mean, it sounds great, it's fantastic and everything, lots of plugins sound great, but being able to have that physical knob that I can reach out to just sort of in the moment and twist it until the vibe feels right to me, that was super important. It's a tactile piece that sits in front of me. I can grab the threshold, I can grab the gain knob, and I can feel it the same way I used to with the hardware. That feels natural to me. People describe things very differently. So the ability to have a client just reach out and grab an EQ knob and sweep frequencies around until they find the one that they like or they find the one that they don't like and adjust that on their own impresses them. It's a very familiar workspace for me because like I said, I'm used to a console, and being able to throw everything up on each individual channel, get my volumes, and use the high pass filter, that's the building blocks of my mix. I kind of call it housekeeping, meaning I'm doing some very basic things to clean everything up so that I'm situated with tracks that feel good already, and I'm just enhancing.
What is the Ryan West secret tip? You got to share one of them with us.
It's not a secret tip. It is very, very simple. Don't quit. People are going to tell you that it's too hard to do, that you don't have much of a chance of making the music business. I heard those almost exact words before I left Ohio, and it kind of pissed me off. And I decided that I wasn't gonna live up to that ideal. I was gonna make my own way. So that's the tip I would give. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. People will tell you to quit. People will tell you you can't do it. You can. Stay with it. I'm living proof.
With our unequal feelings of affection.